Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. So yeah, in this video we're going to be talking about my top 10 favourite movies from 1972. Really enjoying going back over these movies from the 70s and just having a blast picking them out from the collection and talking about them with you guys. I've just been absolutely really enjoying it. So I'm trying to reel off some of these videos like as much as I can because I'm just enjoying making them that much, to be honest. But yeah, going over 1972, looking back the films that came out that year, it was a bit of a slow year, I think, for the 70s. It did have one massive impactful movie that came out, but we'll talk about that one shortly. But yeah, it was a bit slow compared to other years, I think, in the 70s. But yeah, still a good year nonetheless. But yeah, that being said, we're going to kick it off with my number 10 pick. So coming in at number 10, guys, we've got Wes Craven's The Last House on the Left. This was a movie I saw when I was really young. I did a lot of reading and research about it and read the plot on Wikipedia just because I was really intrigued and heard so much about this film. And I wanted to delve into it, so I got my mum to pick me up the DVD from HMV at the time, and I sat down and watched it, and I was in two minds about the movie when it had finished. Part of me absolutely hated it. I thought it was awful. I thought it was poorly made, but the other part of me was like, I really commend it for being quite disturbing with what you see in the movie. And I didn't revisit it for years. Hadn't seen it in such a long time, but I went back over it and heard about the cutscenes, and wanted to give it a rewatch. And just watching it again, it was still really disturbing. I still don't think it's a well-made movie, but I do really kind of like the movie still because of it. This movie again is another movie that is not for everyone. There's so many disturbing things going on in this film, so much so that I kind of agree with the point that there's a scene in this movie where you actually feel as if you're watching someone be murdered, and it is horrible. The effects in it as well, for one particular scene that was cut, a disemboweling scene, the effects for a movie of the early 70s look exceptional, but it is still really disturbing. And yeah, it does have a good payoff at the end. The revenge element is definitely there, but it is a really disturbing movie. And like I said, it's not for everyone. But yeah, that is my number 10 pick, The Last House on the Left. So coming in at number 9, guys, we've got Klaus Kinski and Wenger Herzog's Aguirre, The Wrath of God. Yeah, this movie blew me away with its visuals. That is the main selling point of this movie for me. Klaus Kinski gives an amazing performance as well as the leader of this band of adventurers who try and find the lost gold of El Dorado. And yeah, like I said, visually the movie just looks absolutely stunning and breathtaking. Other movies by Herzog as well, like Fitzcarraldo and Cobra Verde, also starring Klaus Kinski, look amazing as well. But Aguirre, Wrath of God, is probably my favourite out of his movies. It just looks absolutely breathtaking, and it just really captures the rainforest and the atmosphere. It just really does it justice, and you kind of feel the coldness and the wet. It just looks absolutely breathtaking. But yeah, that is my number 9 pick, Aguirre, Wrath of God. So coming in at number 8, guys, we've got a movie, the fourth movie actually from a series. So yeah, at number 8, I'm going with Conquest of the Planet of the Apes. This was the Planet of the Apes movie that I watched the most when I was a kid. Probably because I had Conquest and I had Escape from the Planet of the Apes on taped off the TV, and it was the one I rewatched most as a kid because although I enjoyed Escape, there just wasn't enough apes in that movie for me. And if you find that when you watch Escape that it is lacking in apes, Conquest more than delivers with that to make up for it. And yeah, I just absolutely loved it as a kid. But as an adult, I find it really, really difficult to go back and rewatch because the movie's horrific. Not in terms of quality or anything like that, but just in terms of subject matter and what you see in the film. The way the humans torture and treat the apes it's beyond uncomfortable for me. It's just absolutely horrific and just so upsetting to watch. The Blu-ray as well also comes with an uncut version of the movie, which is probably the best way to watch the film. It wasn't the version I grew up with, but it really, really goes that further step with the brutality, and it's just really, really interesting to see. But yeah, Escape was a much more played down movie, and I still really, really enjoy that film. It probably is one of my favourites out of the sequels, to be honest, bar the original. But Conquest is still a good movie, but yeah, be warned, it's not like a family movie. Let's all sit down together and watch this film. It really isn't. The movie is brutal, but I still enjoy it, and yeah, it's a bit more difficult to watch nowadays for me, but it's still a good film technically. But yeah, that is my number 8 pick, Conquest of the Planet of the Apes. So coming in at number 7, guys, we've got a movie with Michael Caine and Laurence Olivier, and that is Sleuth. Yeah, this was a really, really fun, kind of, not murder mystery, but definitely a mystery movie. So you've got Laurence Olivier and Michael Caine, who are pretty much the only 2 actors in the whole movie, and the movie kind of takes place in this one room for the entire time. And it's just a game of who can outwit each other. It's absolutely brilliant. So you've got Laurence Olivier, who kind of sort of has this grudge against Michael Caine because he believes he's having an affair with his wife, and he's just trying to make him as uncomfortable as possible. And just seeing these 2 powerhouse actors bounce off one another is just an absolute joy. And yeah, it kind of reminds me of movies like Death Trap and Knives Out and things like that. It just really, really is a lot of fun, and it's definitely worth checking out if you've not seen it. So yeah, that is my number 7 pick, Sleuth. So coming up at number 6, guys, we've got Brian De Palma's Sisters. This was kind of the first De Palma film that really sort of delved into the thriller and suspenseful mystery genre. And it's definitely paves the way for other movies he did, like Dress to Kill and Blowout. But yeah, this was just a brilliant, creepy movie starring Margot Kidder. And it's just absolutely wonderful. If you like those type of Brian De Palma movies, this is the one that really sort of started it off. And yeah, it's just really eerie, really creepy. It's got some great music in there as well. But yeah, really, really suspenseful movie that I absolutely loved. And yeah, just thought it was brilliant. Not my favourite De Palma film, not by a long shot, but it's one that really, really goes under the radar in my opinion. But yeah, that is my number 6 pick, Sisters. So coming up next at number 5, guys, we've got probably my favourite Steve McQueen movie, outside of the Great Escape. I just absolutely love this film. But yeah, so coming up at number 5, we've got The Getaway. Just an absolutely brilliant, fantastic action movie. Again, similar to Sisters, it goes under the radar for me. It's just brilliant. I love the scenery in this movie. I love the story. I love the action in it. I just think it's absolutely brilliant. And yeah, it's a brilliant performance as well by Steve McQueen. Yeah, it's just a really, really fun film. I really enjoy it. I don't mind the remake as well, as silly as that movie is, with Alec Baldwin and Kim Basinger. But yeah, it's the original for me that would probably be still regarded as the best, and it's just a really, really great underrated movie from the 70s. But yeah, that is my number 5 pick, The Getaway. So coming in at number 4, guys, we've got a movie I saw for the first time last year, and I absolutely fell in love with it. I thought it was brilliant. So yeah, coming in at number 4, we've got Female Prisoner 701 Scorpion. This was a brilliant prison action movie that I absolutely loved. I thought the lead actress was just absolutely superb in it, and it just had some brilliant sequences in it. The opening chase sequence was absolutely great, where these officers are trying to capture this escaped prisoner. It was just absolutely phenomenal. And there's this scene in the movie where the officers make the prisoners sort of dig this hole, and how they treat them and what transpires there, and how it all comes to this conclusion in this head was just absolutely brilliant. I was just blown away by it. One of my favorite Japanese movies. I just thought it was absolutely excellent. I just really enjoyed it. I love the setting. I love the action in it, and I just thought it was wonderful. The sequels as well are really good. Not as good as the original in my opinion, but the 4 films are really good on the whole. And yeah, I just thought this was exceptional. So yeah, that is my number 4 pick. Female Prisoner, number 701, Scorpion. So coming up next, guys, at number 3 is the first of 2 Marlon Brando movies. At number 3, I'm going to go with Last Tango in Paris. This was a movie I'd heard about growing up, but never had actually seen it, and probably for good reason as well. Yeah, it's just one of those infamously raunchy movies for its absolutely risque sex sequences in the movie, and it definitely has deserved that reputation in my opinion. Some of the stuff in this movie I just couldn't believe what I was watching. But yeah, Marlon Brando gives this exceptional performance. Especially there's a sequence in the movie where he's talking to his dead wife, and it's absolutely horrific and heartbreaking at the same time. Just some of the language he uses and some of the things he says are just absolutely heartbreaking, but it does have, for the time, some of the most risque sequences that you'll ever see in a movie. But I still think the movie's absolutely brilliant on the technical merit alone. And yeah, just really enjoy this one. Another one of those movies that's not for everyone, but for me, I did really appreciate this film. So yeah, that is my number 3 pick, Last Tango in Paris. So just missing the top spot, guys, and coming in at number 2, we've got Deliverance. Yeah, this was just an exceptional movie that I absolutely loved. Just thought it was great. Just following these 4 friends who go on this getaway trip, and everything that could and can go possibly wrong does. And yeah, it's just a brilliantly executed movie in my opinion. The cast in this is absolutely phenomenal, from Ned Beatty, John Voight, Ronnie Cox and Burt Reynolds as the 4 friends. Exceptional casting, and yeah, it just leads to some of the most horrific and unfortunate, horrible things that some of them have to go through to survive. It's just absolutely horrible when they run into the natives there. It really is some sickening stuff that you see in this film. Everything from rape to murder that goes on, that they have to just take it and have to just sort of put up with it to survive. It's just really nasty stuff, but it's brilliantly executed in this movie. As well, famously, you've got the dueling banjo sequence in it, which is just absolutely phenomenal. The way Ronnie Cox's character and this little kid just sort of playing together and absolutely saluting each other on the banjo and guitar is just great. And yeah, it's just a wonderfully made movie despite the rough subject matter. But yeah, really enjoy this one. So yeah, that is my number 2 pick, Deliverance. So coming in at number 1 for me, guys, it really only had to be one movie that is hailed as one of the best movies ever made. And it is Francis Ford Coppola's The Godfather. Yeah, like I said, one of the best movies ever made. From its epic runtime and its epic cast to its wonderful story and its execution. I understand that these movies, the Godfather films themselves, are not for everyone. There's people who just straight up don't like them, and that is completely understandable. Obviously, these are heavy with the gangster genre, and that's not going to be for everyone, and I completely understand that. But technically, from a filmmaking standpoint, the films are just absolutely brilliant. The second one being my personal favourite, but the first one is still up there. It's just an absolutely great film, from Brando and Al Pacino's performance to the techniques used in the movie to create suspense. They just really pulled it out of the bag with this one, and yeah, I just absolutely love the film. It's The Godfather, guys. I can't really say anything else about it or bring anything new to the table, just apart from say that it is my favourite movie from 1972. And yeah, I just absolutely love it. Completely worthy of winning Best Picture. Again, this was the second movie to have the actor turn down the Oscar for Best Actor. Famously, Marlon Brando didn't turn up. But yeah, it's a brilliant film. I absolutely love it. Like I said before, I can't say or bring anything new about this movie that hasn't been said already. It's just iconic in every sense of the word. But yeah, that is my number one pick, guys, from 1972, The Godfather. So yeah, that brings us to the end of another list. And yeah, like I said before in my previous videos, these top 10 movies, these are just my favourite movies from 72. It's not the right list, it's just my list. Everyone's going to have their own opinions about different movies and different orders and things like that. But yeah, it's just my personal favourite list. There's no right or wrong to it. And like I've said before, yeah, just all in accordance with IMDb as well. But yeah, I'm going to leave as well a list of all of my honourable mentions that didn't make the cut into the top 10 in the description down below. But yeah, apart from that, guys, I'm going to leave the video there and say thanks very much for watching. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.